Ciao guys, welcome to another episode of the Personal PR Show. And today we're here with Anna. Hello Anna, how are you?
Hi Jessica, and hi everybody listening. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very happy to have you here. And today's topic is super interesting. So it's about how to leverage. No, what was that? What was the exact title? I forgot now. Oh my God, Anna. Yeah.
How to leverage your personal brand to pivot to another industry. I think this is what we agreed on.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And guys, you have to know that I just, recited this title to Anna just about 1.5 minutes ago. And I said, is this the right title? Are we okay? Do you approve before we go live? She said, yes. And then like 30 seconds later, I already forgot the title. I'm very sorry, but I'm still very convinced of the importance of this topic, Anna. Exactly. So before we get started though, would you like to introduce yourself to our lovely audience?
Sure. Okay, so in the context of pivoting to different industry, I have been in a few different industries so far. Right now, I'm self-employed. I am a consultant. I do corporate trainings on the topics of gender equality, but also on the topics of gratitude in the workplace and beyond. So very much related to mental health and general well-being. But I worked as well in a shoe industry. I worked for a company called ECCO for many years. I worked for a non-profit organization that focused on building gender equality in business. I am also on the board of an organization called Capacity, where we support refugees and migrants in building their own business or finding a job here in Switzerland. I'm also a member and a founder of a Lean In Network, which is a business group for women. And worked as well for a company in employee benefits sector related to well-being as well. So have tried a few different things, and I have lived in 7 different countries. Switzerland is my last one. But I've been on 3 different continents. I come from Poland originally, but lived in the Netherlands, Guatemala, Mexico, Denmark, Thailand. And now I'm building here my life in Switzerland.
Wow, this is so impressive. You do so many things. I have to know, how many hours do you sleep every night, Anna?
Too little, but not because of work, but because of my 2 little toddlers.
Oh my God. I was going to ask, you even have kids on top.
Yes, I've got a boy and a girl, and they are definitely the ones responsible for my lack of sleep, but they are also the ones really helping me to make sure that I don't overwork, because I need to be there for them as well. So they have definitely helped me to set my priorities and boundaries in a better way. Absolutely. It's a process. It's not that I have it all figured out. It's a process, but definitely having kids really helps you to stop working, and especially with the little ones like the ones I have.
And I remember that you and I were at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, 2 weeks ago, exactly 2 weeks ago. And you told me as well that through your children, you learn not only to set priorities and you reduce your workload, but also to delegate, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I really try to do only the things that bring me a lot of joy, and also the things that really can't be outsourced. So really focusing on, what is, very much on content, on training, and all the technicalities and kind of all the graphics and marketing that I get support with, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I totally support that. Yeah, totally. My life would be very different if I didn't delegate anything. Yes. Amazing. And today, as we said, we're here to talk about how to leverage your personal brand to shift industry, right? So you have shifted industries a few times in your life. How did you leverage your personal brand to do so?
Yeah, so I think the major shift that I have had, or maybe 2 major shifts. One was really from going from a corporate world, going from a shoe industry into a non-profit world, and then in the topics of gender equality, right? From kind of going from sales of shoes and leather goods into a non-profit, and yeah, topic of gender equality. So that was quite difficult to manage originally, also because I really didn't want what I wanted to do first when I was exiting the show industry. I think when I look back, I very much think about the connections and the network that I already had, and obviously the brand that I had with my network. And I think people often think that personal brand is what you are known for, right? That this is really your personal brand. But I believe that personal brand is more than that, right? Personal brand is also very much your personality, right? Who are you as a person? How you come over? You know, are you a friendly type? Are you chatty? Are you reliable? Have you delivered good stuff in the past? And very much about how you work, right? That's also very much your personal brand. So, for example, I know somebody who was you kind of known for kind of like personal logistics. Let's say, do you know how to organize your life for efficiency and to how to get everything done? And then she switched into a topic of spirituality. And, you know, how do you make that transition when you have such an established community for kind of productivity, and then you want to go into spirituality? But, you know, what she was known for is very hands-on approach, very practical approach, a lot of templates, workbooks, journaling prompts, and, you know, people kind of knew her for that as well. So people know how you work. So even when you shift to a different industry, or you go from corporate career to being self-employed, what I recently did is, if you're known to be the queen of templates, for example, right, then people kind of assume that you're going to bring that skill, what they love, you know, that you're going to bring that also in whatever it is that you're going to do next. So I have learned from my personal experience, and what I have seen as well very much through like my friends and other business owners, is that your personal brand is, of course, what you are known for, you know, your area of expertise, but also who you are as a person.
Yes.
And how you do things. And if you have, you know, if then one of those three changes, which is in this case your area of expertise, you can still build on the other two aspects, right? You can still build on the, you probably have heard this know, like, and trust factor. People like you, they know you, they may not trust you yet completely in the new area, but because they have experienced you in a different setup, that means that they are open at least to listen to what you have to say now. And if I look back at going from the nonprofit world and shifting to self-employment, I very much experienced this, that, you know, from one day to another, I started to talk about gratitude while I was still being known very much exclusively for gender equality. And just because, a lot of people knew me as a person, I think they liked me, they wanted to see me succeed. They listened to what I have had to say. And because of that, a lot of those people who I got into my network through one business or through my nonprofit work, they became a customer of mine, or they send work my way, not necessarily because they've seen me from the beginning as an expert in one topic, but because of who I was as a person and how they got to experience me. And that, they trusted me in a way that whatever I was going to put out, no matter the topic, it was going to be good. Yes. So I think this was my biggest learning. And I'm not saying that it's easy to kind of shift from one industry to another. And I'm not saying that you should not build your new audience as well, right? That is really interesting in what you have to offer now. But what I am saying, and where I see a lot of people going wrong, I think, is that people say that the moment they want to pivot, they need to delete everything that they have done before, they need to kind of, I don't know, forget all the connections that they have made before and start like a blank page, and only then talk to the people who are now interested in their new area.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love this. Absolutely. Wow. So if you were to say what you kept when you pivoted from one industry to the other, and we can take the latest example that you gave, which is basically when you went from gender equality, from being known as a gender equality consultant to be known as a gratitude consultant. What do you think that stayed with you, and what do you think that you maybe tweaked a little bit in your personal brand?
That's an interesting question. And I have not had a very, conscious approach to it, right? That, from now on, I want to brand myself exclusively as a gratitude consultant. And I'm actually not doing that. I am still keeping, my gender equality, because it's a topic that I'm really passionate about, a topic that I know a lot about, and topic that I want to support companies with and individuals as well. So I'm keeping all that. I am just adding another dimension to what I am doing now. And I also just, and I have had not, this is my personal experience, and there's probably, there are different ways of how you go about it. But the moment you just start talking about something that is important to you, people start to see you as somebody who has something to say on a topic. And the more you talk about it, the more you start to be seen as, the expert. And yeah, I am just thinking that I have not deliberately tried to say, okay, from now on, I'm not doing this, or I'm doing only this, or I'm doing it that way or that way, because of the ultimate customer that I have in mind, corporate or individual. But with my audience, the one that I have now, that I built maybe through my career in sales or in shoes, or the audience that I've built through my gender equality, and then the new audience through the topic of gratitude, I kind of let the audience a little bit self-select themselves, right? So I keep the audiences, and I keep talking about all those topics that are important to me. And of course, if there is somebody who says, I was only interested in you where you were working in shoes, and now you're not talking about shoes so much, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna follow you anymore, or I don't want to be connected. That's fine as well, or they don't want to engage with my content. That's fine. I don't think that happens that much, to be honest. But I see that people often think, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, that, all my connections on LinkedIn are, for example, in one industry. So if I want to pivot to industry, I need to kind of delete everything and start over. But we forget that as much as we are multidimensionals, that as we have different interests, so do the other people, right? If I worked only in gender equality, and my connections are all about gender equality, it doesn't mean that the only thing I ever talk about is gender equality. And it also doesn't mean that my connection on LinkedIn is only interested in gender equality, right? These are real people who have other passions, interests, and so on. And as it turns out, a lot of my network built in, gender equality are also my customers now for the topic of gratitude. Yes, so I always kind of want to encourage kind of new entrepreneurs that encourage to start talking about the things that are dear to you. It's good to have a plan, but if you just start, and if you remember that the network you have is a valuable network, that they are interested in what you have to say because of you, who you are as a person, how they got to experience you, and they might be open to listen to the new thing as well.
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is really a breakthrough idea, I have to say. So basically, when we are in doubt, and maybe we question ourselves because we think that, us being a multidimensional being, let's say, faceted being, could be confusing for our audience, then let's remember that actually our audience and our network are multifaceted beings as well, right? This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is really they always talk about thought leadership, and thought leadership is based on a breakthrough idea. This is your breakthrough idea. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think also when we talked previously, I think you also said something, okay, like your combination of things makes you unique, right? And you can leverage that uniqueness. And I am not saying, again, I'm not saying that it's the best way to go. I am not saying it's the easiest. I do believe actually here in maybe in Switzerland, but also in many other countries, is that, you know, if you can say you do this, you do A, and you do it for your entire life, that's easier for sure. I think it's definitely easier. You just know and remember, recognize for the one thing. But it doesn't matter, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it the other way, that if you are a multi-passionate, or if you are in a transition, that you can't start building your audience or shifting part of your existing audience to be interested in your new topic already. And as you said in our conversation before, this is something that actually, if you do it right, can make you memorable, unique, and that's an advantage then as well.
I love it. Yeah, definitely. And something that helps as well, I have noticed, is that if we are shifting from, let's say, one dimension to another dimension, from one topic to another topic, we can make things, let's say, we can make this transition nearly natural, in that we explain to our audience what the common denominator is between these two dimensions or topics, right? So in your case, what do you think the common denominator was between gender equality consulting and gratitude consulting?
Yeah, so for me, I think it's all very much about making sure that people in the workplace that people, you know, are seen and are appreciated, and that they therefore have equal opportunities. So it all comes down first to, you know, bringing people to the table, bringing the right people to the table, women and men, and you know, all the other genders, and then, you know, seeing what people do, recognizing that the work that they do, and then obviously if the work is being recognized, that it should manifest themselves in equal opportunities for all. So when I speak to companies, it's all very much about, yeah, helping your employees thrive, right? Making sure that they are happy at work, that they want to stay. And that might be, if we look at this through the lens of gender, right? Is the company really a gender equal employer? But it also might be, when we look at this through the lens of gratitude, right? What is the company culture? And is everybody really feeling seen valued and appreciated?
Oh my God, I love this. And now you made us so curious about gratitude, because we've heard, I think, our friends at home as well, I think we've all heard of gender equality consultants, but maybe not of gratitude consultants. So what is gratitude consulting all about?
Yes. So the interesting thing is that I have become a gratitude consultant or a gratitude trainer as a you know, that's not something that I thought this is what I'm going to be going forward, but because I have an online program which is called My Gratitude Challenge, and because I have had, you know, over 100 people going through the program, and I have seen, you know, they're really benefiting from it, loving it. They are the ones really who started to introduce the topic of gratitude in their organizations as well. Also because I've been talking about it on LinkedIn, especially about my program, corporates started to reach out to me saying, hey, you do something about gratitude. Can you do something for our audience, for our employees as well? So you know, in my work with the corporates, there are, you know, two things that I do. On one hand, I speak to employees about well-being in general, mental health, and then how gratitude can help us to become more resilient, how it increases our ability to deal with short and long-term stress, and how it just generally makes us happier and healthier and more fulfilled. So really talking to employees about the kind of the benefits of gratitude, and then how to start your own practice, answering questions and so on. So So usually, you know, hour and a half to hour training. But I also do a training that is focusing much more on corporate culture, right? And is that a culture of appreciation? How do we show gratitude at work? How do we do it as a team? How do we do it as managers as well? So I also have a training for the leadership exclusively. You know, how do you actually, you know, first of all, you need to know what your employees do, and then you need to know how can you show your gratitude. And there are so many different ways to do it, the right way, wrong way. We bust also some myths about gratitude at work, and answer questions like, why is it actually so difficult to get a thank you at work? But also, why do we say about ourselves that we are quite grateful, but we actually also not that quick to give gratitude at work to our colleagues? And why is it so, and what can we do about that?
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Should we talk about the gratitude challenge for a second? Because what you've just talked about is more related to corporations. And maybe not everybody here in this group is qualified, like is a corporation, because usually they are personal brands, they are, let's say, solopreneurs, or they have a small team, right? But I think that like on personal level, the gratitude challenge could be very interesting. So would you like to tell us something about it? Like, how long is it? And do you have to engage in it every single day? Are there any phases that we have to go through? I'm super curious myself.
Sure. It's my favorite topic to talk about. So, so my gratitude challenge is a 28-day program. So it's a proper commitment, and the idea is that for 28 days in a row, you practice gratitude in many different ways. So you can build your own consistent gratitude practice. And research shows that when you do that, when you are mindful about your gratitude practice, when you go back to it every single day, it can really, really drastically improve your mood, you know, how you feel every day, how you look at things. It will help you to bounce back from negative events, but it also helps you to find the silver lining, right? When you're going for something difficult.
Yeah.
So during the 28 days, I am there by your side every day. You get a video from me. It's normally 5 to 8 minutes. Where I talk about an aspect of gratitude, sharing some insights, research, but there's also a theme every single day, and there is a task for you. So there is something that you actually need to do to, you know, to strengthen those muscles of gratitude. And what people experience throughout the challenge is that some of the things come naturally, some are easy and fun to do, whereas some others are really quite challenging and difficult to do. And that's all information, right? So my gratitude challenge is very much about self-reflection, looking at your life, looking at the past with eyes of kindness, looking at what you're experiencing now, and also a little bit about the future and how you imagine your future, and, you know, what kind of future do you want that would make you feel really, really grateful for. Yeah. And yeah, on top of it, there is a gratitude box as well. So you actually get some physical goodies home before the start of the challenge. And they are symbolic, beautiful, designed to make you smile. And it works like an advent calendar. So on certain days of the challenge, not every day, but on certain days, you can open a goodie and it's related to the theme of the day and it's related to the task. So it actually helps you to do your task. Yeah, and you do it together. So the challenge always, it's not a program that you could buy at any time of the year. Right now, I normally run it 4 times a week. So we're just starting on Monday. So the boxes are already shipped, registration are closed. And on Monday, a new group starts. And I think the next one I will run in May. So you do it in the group. So we also have live group calls to, you know, answer any questions, to deepen your gratitude practice. And yeah, we also have a community, of course, a Facebook group with additional prompts and so on. Yeah, and I started it because I needed it. I was feeling a little bit blue. Over 2 years ago, I found it difficult to get out of bed on some days. It was, you know, during COVID, winter. I was highly pregnant as well, so a lot of aches and pains, and I thought that, yeah, I wasn't recognizing myself anymore. And that's when I came across the topic of gratitude, and I decided to give it a go. And it was not easy every single day, but I really noticed that even on the days where I really, really, really didn't want to do it, it was always helping me to, to get out of bed, to get on with my day, to smile a little bit more. I could feel the weight kind of lifting off my shoulders. So since then, I've been really impressed that such a simple thing can do so much for your well-being. But the trick is to do it regularly, and to not only, go for gratitude, just thinking very rationally and with your head, but to kind of generate those feelings in your heart. And this is the part that people sometimes need some guidance with, and the daily prompt to actually stick to it. And that's where my gratitude challenge comes in handy.
Wow, this is amazing. And are you still doing gratitude, practicing gratitude every single day, also outside of the 4 challenges that you run per year?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Wow, is it like like a ritual that you have in the morning? Do you start your day with gratitude?
So I have now, there are so many different ways that you can do gratitude, and every day is different for many people. We've got crazy schedules, and some days we have some more time, and that's when I really like to write in my gratitude diary. Also, if I procrastinate or something, if I know that I should be doing something, but I don't really want to do it yet, but I also don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time scrolling on the phone or something, then I would write in my gratitude diary. That's something that, then, I'll take the half an hour to really write all about the things that make me happy. There are many other ways, and on some days I don't write, but maybe just to give you one example one exercise that you can start with straight away. And I think for a person who is as busy as you are, this might be good. So this is called a 2-minute gratitude practice. So, and the idea is that you find something in your day that you do every single day, but that doesn't require a lot of cognitive power. So examples of that are, for example, brushing your teeth or being in a shower, right? So this is something that you do, every day, and you know how to do it. So normally your head goes to, worrying about something or planning your day, or, thinking about your grocery list or something like this. But you can use that time in a more, in a way that it will be a little bit better for your mental well-being. And that is to say that, okay, every time I go into the shower, I spend the first 2 minutes just thinking about all the things that I am grateful for. So in this way, you don't need to sit down at your desk. You don't need to do a yoga pose. You can, by all means. It's absolutely lovely. I recommend that. But, if you're just starting, if you're busy all the time, if you feel like, oh, where am I going to squeeze in another 15 minutes in my day? Then kind of identifying, maybe it's a walk with your dog. Maybe it's, for me, I do it when I make my coffee. So I've got an espresso machine, right? So every time I make my coffee, just usually, twice a day, I will go in, I will put the water, I will press the button, and I will literally stand there and stare at the coffee machine. It doesn't even take 2 minutes, right? But I will wait there, I would see the light bleeping, and then I will press the button and I will see the coffee going in, and it takes a minute. But in that minute, normally I would be like on my phone. Before 2 years ago, I'd be on my phone, I would leave, I would do something else. But now I actually stand there and say, okay, this is my clue that, okay, what can I be grateful for today? So maybe that's something that is helpful. So I'm doing every day something. And that 2-minute gratitude practice is something that is, that I actually do every day. And then I do stuff on top of that when I have the time and the energy, and so on.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I love this idea of minimum viable product, minimum viable gratitude.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you can build on it if you have, you know, the resources,
Yeah.
especially time and energy. Exactly. That is amazing. And yeah, if you're totally right, if we pair it with the gratitude practice with something that we're already doing anyway, and that doesn't require a lot of cognitive power, definitely we have no excuse. So the coffee machine is actually a great cue, excuse me. So basically, I can be grateful 3 times a day because I drink coffee 3 times a day. So when I press the Nespresso machine button, then I have my 30 seconds, 1 minute of gratitude. Thank you, Anna. This is very handy.
Yeah, and maybe just one more advice on this: when you do it, try not to just think about, okay, I am grateful for my coffee, and I'm grateful for my coffee machine, and I am grateful for just to, just don't make really long list just of things, but it's okay if you spend the 30 seconds on just one thing, or on 2 things, and then you can say, why are you grateful for that? That's the important part, right? So even if you bring it down to like things that are really trivial, you would say, why am I grateful for that coffee, right? It's like, oh my god, if I couldn't have that coffee right now, right, the next 5 hours would have been far more difficult. So I'm so grateful for that I can have the coffee. I'm grateful that my machine that is working. What would happen if it wasn't working now? I'm grateful for all the people who grew the coffee in Colombia or anywhere else. I'm grateful for the people who have brought in the coffee to the store, and so on and so on, right? So kind of when you think about the whole chain, right, what it took for you to actually have that coffee, and when you make it specific, why are you feeling grateful to have it, then your appreciation for the thing really grows, rather than just saying, I'm grateful for my coffee, I'm grateful for my coffee machine, I'm grateful for my cat, and so on. But we make it a little bit more specific, and then that's enough.
And then that's enough. Exactly. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for coffee like you. And I remember 2 weeks ago when we were together at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Do you remember how much coffee we had? Guys, we had coffee. Got up at 4 a.m, went to bed, I don't know, late.
We were very grateful for the free coffee everywhere as well, right? That was amazing.
Free coffee everywhere. So lots and lots of coffee. We were already grateful for that. And then on top, it was even free. Yeah. And guys, let me tell you something. So Anna knows very well, at the World Economic Forum, we had our lovely handbags following us, like to all of the events. Do you know what I had in my handbag? I had, as well, because you saw me many times using this thing, it was a bottle of almond milk, because coffee was everywhere, right? So I had my own bottle, and I would take it out multiple times during that day because we had so many cups of coffee. Exactly. And that was, she didn't have that. She didn't have it, but she experienced the whole day with me. She experienced many, many, many cups of almond milk with me. Thank you so much. Yes. But I had a beautiful day from the morning until the evening. It was really, really good to spend time together. Because we've known for a few years, but we never really spent more than 1 or 1.5 hours together at some event or lunch or coffee, right? Yeah. So but Anna, I have one last question for you. And sometimes it's considered to be as a silly question by some people. So people are like, oh, no, that's actually a very good question. So let's see your reaction. The question is, Anna, what is a question that I haven't asked you over the past 43 minutes, but I should have asked you?
What's the best thing about pivoting to a new industry?
Ooh, so Anna, what is the best thing about pivoting to a new industry?
Well, I think the best thing is that you get to reinvent yourself all over again. So you can really build your personal brand the way you want it. You can build on what you already have. You can bring in part of your audience. So I think the great thing here is that you don't start from zero, but also that you have the possibility to, reinvent yourself, to make new contacts, to grow. Very much grow, right? You will be very much on a steep learning curve, and that will mean that you will stay mentally active, and you may discover some new exciting things about yourself or a new industry and meet amazing people along the way. You will be often outside of your comfort zone at the beginning, but it's so worth it.
Oh my God, he's so right. Exactly. Because shifting industries is more than I think it goes beyond your professional dimension. It actually involves your personal development as well. Oh my God, this is a very It's amazing. Thank you so much. It's another breakthrough idea of yours, Anna.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for inviting me to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for making the time. It has been amazing. Come back soon to the Personal PR Show. There are so many things to talk about with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been fun. Have a lovely day, and we will speak soon.
Yeah. And guys, thank you so much for following us, and we will see you soon at the next episode of the Personal PR Show. Bye. Ciao, Anna.
Bye. Ciao.